Today, I want to bring you a different video, a more casual, less polished one. It has been a year since the launch of the Apple Vision Pro, and even though I still have 2 videos in the works, one focused on gaming and one on final conclusions, I would like to talk about what this first year with the Vision Pro has meant in my home. It's a device that undoubtedly took a long time to arrive after countless rumors about Apple entering the extended reality sector. Finally, we were able to see the presentation of the Apple Vision Pro, and despite all the leaks and design mock-ups we had seen, I must admit that when I first saw it, it didn't really grab my attention. I thought Apple was going to pull out some kind of magic wand and give us a much more compact, much more comfortable headset, as we're used to the company producing thinner devices. I still remember the iPod Nano launch, the MacBook Air, the iPhones. One of Steve Jobs' favorite things to say was that they had the world's thinnest MP3 player, the world's thinnest laptop, and the world's thinnest smartphone. However, the Apple Vision Pro actually has a form factor quite similar to other headsets on the market. Although, to be fair, it achieves this by packing in more powerful processors, many more sensors, and a superior screen quality. And in the end, if you think about it, it's not that big, because if you remove the headband and the facial interface, what you're left with is something really quite compact. The problem is that the materials used, glass and aluminum, are heavier than the plastic ones that the competition tends to use, so the Vision Pro isn't one of the most comfortable headsets in the world. It's not the most uncomfortable either, but it's still uncomfortable, like any other headset on the market, and that's something people didn't understand. With the brand presence Apple has, they clearly reached a lot of users who had probably never tried an extended reality headset in their life, and therefore, if Apple is telling you that you're going to wear this for work or watching movies, people expected it to be something comfortable. The problem is that no extended reality headset is comfortable today, except for lighter glasses formats with less power, like X-Real. The launch of the Apple Vision Pro was honestly a real whirlwind. I didn't expect it to have such an impact in the media, where outlets that had never talked about it suddenly did. Hundreds of YouTubers bought the device, used it on the street, on public transport, for a variety of uses it wasn't originally designed for. But those were attention-grabbing videos that went viral, and in the end, that's good for content creators. However, in my opinion, it was damaging to the headset for 2 reasons. First, because many people thought it could really serve those purposes, only to find out that it wasn't designed for that. And second, because the vast majority of people who bought the headset in the first days just intended to make a video and get it to go viral, knowing full well that they would return it. Then came the avalanche of returns, which in reality weren't much higher than what would happen with an iPhone. But it created the impression that early adopters were disappointed with the product and returning it when, I insist, many of them never intended to keep it. This led to Vision Pro getting an initial hype that was probably unjustified, followed by an avalanche of criticism predicting its demise, because everyone thought that even buyers weren't happy with it. But let me tell you something, there are hundreds of thousands of users around the world who bought the Vision Pro, knowing exactly what they were getting, and we are thrilled with it. The thing is, I feel like the people who are genuinely happy with the Vision Pro don't spend all day talking about it on social media. I do, because I'm also a content creator, but a lot of people who bought the Vision Pro are not, and I believe that Vision Pro actually achieved exactly what it set out to do. It stirred up the hornet's nest. Apple came into the market, said, "Here we are, we're going to bet heavily on this technology, and this is the first version of the device." I personally know many users who had never used a headset before and have integrated the Vision Pro into their lives. As I've mentioned in my last video on the channel, the other headsets on the market were always focused heavily on gaming. So if you wanted a headset that was truly worth it for working or watching movies, there wasn't much on offer. Vision Pro is, in my opinion, still the only headset on the market that offers a viewing experience better than any consumer TV in the world. I absolutely love watching movies on it, and a lot of people tell me that it's more uncomfortable than watching them on the TV. Yes, but no, because when I'm watching a movie on the TV, there's no weight on my face, but with the Vision Pro, I lie down, look at the ceiling, position the screen there, and the rest of my body is much more comfortable, usually because of how my couch and TV are positioned. If I want to watch a movie lying down, but look at the TV, I have to twist my neck, and I assure you that in the end, I'm much more comfortable watching a movie on the Vision Pro, much bigger and with better image quality even. The same goes for work. I mentioned this in my productivity review. If you're thinking of using the Vision Pro sitting at a traditional desk with windows in front of you, you will indeed feel the weight of the headset. But I rarely work like that. I lie down completely on my bed, position the screens almost on the ceiling, and spend hours doing so without the slightest issue. Tell me how many of you can work a full workday lying in bed wrapped in a blanket. Honestly, if you consider the discomfort of the headset's weight on your face, but how comfortable the rest of your body is, it more than makes up for it, at least in my case. As I said, I currently don't have a fixed workspace with a proper monitor setup. If you do, then working with an extended reality headset might not be for you yet, but it will surely be once they weigh half or a third of what they weigh today. It's interesting to talk about comfort because there's been a lot of talk about how uncomfortable the Vision Pro is and the number of headbands available to solve this problem, just like with other headsets. For example, I would never think of using the original Meta Quest headband. Apple includes the Sonnet band in the box, which I think is amazing in terms of how it's built, but we also have the dual loop band, which is a strap that rests on the top of your head and helps distribute the weight better. This one, in my opinion, is the one I would recommend to anyone who plans to use the device for long hours because it's definitely more comfortable. But in my case, after using this and 4 or 5 other third-party headbands I bought, I always end up using the Sonnet band. This might sound trivial, but those of you who've known me for a while know what I'm going to say. I can't stand when using an extended reality headset messes up my hair. I think a lot of brands overlook this. There are a lot of people out there who will never want to integrate a headset into their workday if it's going to ruin the way they look in front of others. For me, using MetaQuest or other headbands means I practically need to shower again after hours of use. The Sonnet band is a strap that, while not the best at distributing weight, is the only one I've found that's easy to put on and take off, and it barely messes up my hair. Plus, the way it adjusts is fantastic. And again, since I work lying down, it allows me to fully support myself without neck pain. In reality, I have no weight on my head, so I don't need the headset to rest on it, and that's the important part. A year after its release, I'm still using it several hours a day. It has been incredibly helpful for my work, and I enjoy watching movies on it more and more. It's the first headset where I genuinely want to put it on to watch movies, even if they aren't in 3D. With MetaQuest, I find it worth it if the movie is in 3D, or if I'm watching it with friends. But with Vision Pro, because it looks better than anywhere else, it's where I want to watch movies. Recently, for example, I watched The Count of Monte Cristo, and it's amazing to watch it on such a large screen and not feel bad about not being able to see it in theaters. But on top of that, I've found the perfect solution because apps like Moon Player let you convert movies into 3D in real time, so I can load movies in full resolution, and even if they're in 2D, convert them while I watch. The conversion, of course, isn't 100% perfect, but it's enough for me to make the experience better. Finding 4K 3D movies is extremely difficult because most were only released in 1080p. There are even movies like Alien Romulus that I downloaded in 4K at 60 frames per second, and watching them in 3D is amazing. Cinema should finally abandon 24 frames per second and jump to at least 48. 3D accentuates the lack of frames per second, and it becomes annoying. That's something James Cameron or Peter Jackson are already well aware of. However, probably the biggest shortcoming of Vision Pro for regular extended reality users is gaming. People who buy MetaQuest do so with gaming in mind, while with Vision Pro, which costs much more, they say there aren't even any games. I'll cover all of this in more depth in my dedicated analysis of gaming on Vision Pro, but believe me, you'd be surprised at how well you can actually play on this headset. As I already mentioned in the Nintendo Switch 2 video, I believe there is a middle ground between playing on a flat screen and fully immersive gaming, is being able to play traditional games, but on a giant screen and in 3 dimensions, something headsets do very well. With Vision Pro, you can play hundreds of iPad games, but on a massive screen anywhere you want. These games are not in 3D. Although they could easily be adapted. However, many Apple Arcade games follow this format. Traditional controls and gameplay visualization, but with a stereoscopic effect, and even elements that extend into your environment. In my opinion, this will be one of the key aspects that will encourage more users to buy a headset. The ability to keep playing their existing game library, but in a better way than their TV can offer. And once they own the headset, they'll be more inclined to explore increasingly immersive experiences. In fact, services like GeForce Now have recently become compatible with MetaQuest and Vision Pro, allowing you to stream any PC game on a giant screen without even needing a computer. Tell me if that isn't a revolution in gaming. Some games fully take advantage of the headset, like Game Room or Demio by Resolution Games. Although Demio, due to issues with Unity, hasn't yet released a complete mixed reality version, it can still be played perfectly well in virtual reality. Obviously, not many more games will come out until new versions of the device arrive. That's just common sense. But even if you don't want to play any of the native games, few people know that Vision Pro can be used perfectly with a Windows PC to play the entire Steam library. There are ways to control the games using hand tracking, or by improvising with Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons. However, what has truly changed everything is this: the Surreal Touch controllers. These controllers were specifically designed for Vision Pro and feature built-in cameras for self-tracking. They can connect to Steam, allowing you to play any game as if they were MetaQuest Pro controllers. I've tested games like Half-Life Alyx and they play perfectly well. Yes, both the headset and these controllers are incredibly expensive, but if you have them, you can absolutely play without any issues. So this headset works for me for work, for watching movies. and also for gaming. But in my particular case, it goes far beyond that. If I had to highlight one standout feature of the device, it would be people. And by people, I mean both the spatial personas, Apple's avatars that let you call friends and family anywhere in the world and feel a true sense of presence with them, and everything related to spatial photos and videos. The ability to view all my phone's photos and videos converted into 3 dimensions, especially those recorded with Vision Pro, turns them into direct memories of my life. I have videos of my kids that I'll be able to watch in 20 or 30 years, and I can assure you that just for that alone, the $3,300 I spent on the headset was worth it. These are moments that don't come back. There's no way to go back in time to record them again. And now I have them captured in the best possible way that memory can be preserved today. And honestly, making FaceTime calls with others is amazing. Of course, the best thing is to meet someone in person, but I am absolutely convinced that a call on Vision Pro is far superior to any other type of video call, whether on a phone or computer. The feeling of actually being with that person, along with the countless things you can do, watch movies, take notes, or view 3D models, makes for an incredible experience. I'm really looking forward to this level of avatar quality reaching all headsets on the market, as it will truly revolutionize remote collaboration. Another major criticism of Apple Vision Pro was the external battery. This external battery, connected via cable to the headset, is indeed large and quite heavy. However, in reality, it's not an issue when using it. As I always say, when working or watching a movie, I'm lying down, I have the battery next to me, and I don't even keep it in my pocket. I can charge it from the wall and use the headset for as many hours as I want. So the claim that the headset only lasts 2 hours and can't even get through a long movie is actually false. Under normal use, it typically lasts more than 2 hours. Meta's battery in mixed reality mode lasts an hour and a half, and I don't see people making a big fuss about that. But now, with the announcement of headsets like Project Muhan, which also includes an external battery, I think it finally makes it clear that at least for now, this is the way forward. If we want more comfortable headsets, we need to offload as much weight and heat as possible from them. It's the only way to make them smaller and more comfortable, and I'm sure Meta will adopt this approach sooner or later. I won't drag this out much longer, because I still have 2 more videos focused on Vision Pro, but since I know it will take time to release them, and I also have other videos in the works, I wanted to take this first anniversary as an opportunity to share my experience. And really, I'm not just telling you that I love it and use it every day because I spent a fortune on it. The ability to create videos about it, plus the professional opportunities that have come my way just for owning it, have already more than justified my purchase. I could easily sell it and then start criticizing it without any restrictions, but I don't, simply because I am genuinely happy with the headset. It is my favorite headset among all the ones I've owned. It's the 8th headset I've purchased for personal use, and in my professional career, I've tested more than 30 over the years. To wrap up, I want to clarify something. Every now and then, news comes out claiming that Apple has canceled the successor to Vision Pro, that Apple won't release augmented reality glasses anymore, or that the headset has been a failure. Aside from the fact that there are many contradictory reports on this, Apple is still working on future versions of Apple Vision. I truly believe that Vision Pro has sold about as much as Apple expected it to, because even before launch, it was known that fewer than 500,000 units could be manufactured. Anyone expecting this to sell tens of millions of units in its first year, I don't know where they think those numbers were supposed to come from. And I think the important thing isn't Vision Pro itself, but Vision OS and the inspiration it's already providing for the competition. Because just as Apple has taken inspiration from what other brands have already done, other brands are also adopting many of the things Vision Pro has done right. If you want to keep up with Vision Pro, other headsets, or gaming and technology in general, don't forget to subscribe. You can also support the channel by clicking the thanks button to make a small donation, or using Vision to purchase headsets and games. See you in future videos. Until next time.